Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's our pleasure to have you with us again in one of our webinars about thriving in challenging world, practical tools to build resilience during tough times. It's our great pleasure to have with us our dearest colleague, Ms. Shireen Mansouri, to talk about this great topic. So we'll start by identifying ourselves. This webinar comes to you from HR Leaders Kuwait and from Tanmia Group and from Quality and Excellence Middle East and HR Excellence Club and Qatar School Middle East. Actually, it's part of our mission as HR Leaders Kuwait is to connect people together, to share information, share the knowledge and expertise, and then develop themselves to develop their organization and the whole community. So let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Muhammad Rabi Sheikh. It's part of my mission to be with you today to inspire people and organizations to accelerate their growth and achieve excellence. I'm the founder and CEO of Tanmia Consulting and founder of HR Leaders Kuwait, Quality and Excellence Middle East, and Qatar School Middle East. I'm certified executive and team coach at Marshall Goldsmiths and certified lead quality auditor. I'm a judge at many international awards like Stevie Awards, and I've worked before in Zain, Vodafone, Arthur Andersen, Butte Investment Group, and I've been more than 30 years helping organizations to improve their performance and achieve excellence. So it's our pleasure to have with us today Ms. Shireen Mansouri. She's senior people leader with over 20 years of experience in HR, OD, talent development across the Gulf area and the North Africa. She has worked in many industries, including FMCG, retail, real estate, and she served as career planning and succession manager for MENA at Al Shaya company. She holds master's degree and CIPD level 7, and she's accredited from the International Coaching Federation. She's certified leadership trainer and an expert in competency mapping and assessment. So welcome, Shireen. I'll leave the floor for you, and it's going to be our great pleasure to have you with us today. And all the best. Thank you.
So let's start our session for today. Again, I'll take you through the agenda very quickly. We will have 4 stations that we will stop in. First, we will understand why resilience is important nowadays. Living in this very challenging world. Why resilience is becoming a competitive advantage among professionals. And then we will learn about what is resilience. How can we define resilience? And what sometimes make us behave in a different way. And then the third station, we will talk about the how. How can we develop resilience? Is there any steps or ways that we can follow to become more resilient? Yes, and we will go through this today. And finally, I will take your Q&A. So we will have around 10 to 15 minutes by the end of the session to answer all your questions. So if you have any question, please keep it for the end of the session. Unless you have any burning question or something that you want really to understand or you want me to repeat it, you can just raise your hand and I will be more than happy to take your question. Okay, now describing the world that we are living in. As you have mentioned now in the chat, we are living in an uncertain world, unpredictable world, very challenging, very difficult. No one can really predict what could happen tomorrow, right? So scientists have described the world that we are living in 2 ways. One of them is they call it VUCA, and VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Because the world is really volatile, it can burn tomorrow. And we saw this. We were in Ramadan, we were not expecting anything to happen, and suddenly we woke up in the morning, warning sirens are running and bombs are everywhere. It started to burn everywhere suddenly, and no one was really expecting this to happen. And it's really severely impacted us, especially in the Gulf region. So the world is really unpredictable, and you cannot expect what will happen and how it will impact you. And on the other hand, they also describe it as Bani. So Bani is more about being brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. So Bani is telling us more about how people experience the changes, the uncertainty, and the complexity of the world. So VUCA tell us what is happening, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And the Bani, it's talking about how fragile people may become, or how more overwhelmed, or they cannot predict, or they cannot even make sense of what could happen or what is happening, right? So because this is happening, we want to understand how it is going to impact us. We are people, we are human beings, we have emotions. And this difficult changes, unexpected changes, hit us hardly. And we react in different ways. Not all of us will have the same level of resilience or adaptability or emotional stability. Some of us will be hit in a very difficult way, and some of us no. But there is a curve that Kubler-Ross, she has developed this based on the people who face unexpected severe changes. And it was actually made for the people in grief cycle. But after that, even the organizations started to use this to understand how people react to unexpected change, so they can deal with them based on where they are on this curve. So the first thing that happens for everyone who face a change is denial. People will start saying, no, maybe this will not continue, or maybe this is not real, maybe this will not happen. They are giving themselves hope, but not real hope, but they are trying actually to soothe themselves to become more calm and don't react to the change. After that, when they realize that it's happening really, they become angry, more angry. They will start to ask why this is happening, why the people are doing this to us, why, for example, Iran is doing this, why America is doing this, whatever who is doing, they start to blame with anger. And after that, they start to bargain. How can we make this less, or the impact of this less on us? What if we only change part of it? What if this could happen? We start to bargain to reduce the impact on us as much as we could. And if it doesn't work, then we will go into depression. The exit door actually of this curve is acceptance. So some people will stay more in bargaining, some people will stay more in anger, some people will be they will stay in denial, and they get stuck there. They cannot get out of denial, and some will stay in depression. And this is the worst place actually, because here it's more even than burnout, it's depression. People cannot take any decision, cannot work, cannot produce. They become very useless, and they become also a burden on others. So the exit door of acceptance of this roller coaster, as they call it, is acceptance. But how easy acceptance is? Can we just press a button and say, okay, I accept? I don't think it's easy, and no one can say it's as easy as we say it. But it is the exit button. Today we are going to talk about this more. How can we help ourselves to get out of this roller coaster and become more resilient? Even if we drop down, even if we got knocked down, how can we show up again, stand up again, and continue regardless of the changes or the difficulties that we are facing? And this is resilience. So resilience is not about not failing, but learning how to fail and how to stand up again after this knockdown. So every change comes with emotion. I want you also again to write in the chat, what was your first reaction when the war started? How did you react to this? What was the first emotion that came? Stress, Batul said Stress. Cared. Yes. What else? So let's see how we sometimes behave in a different way based on what we are facing, or because not all of us will react in the same way. I want you to meet these characters. I put them in characters, but they are actually parts of us. So every one of us has part of this. And it's based on us, who we decide actually who we want to become, or who we want to stay more in one of these characters. So the first character here is Mr. Victim. Mr. Victim will say, why me? Why this happened to me? Oh, this is not fair. Everyone should feel sorry to me. So if Mr. Victim stayed here in this character, or I decided to stay wearing the hat of Mr. Victim, do you think I will be able to perform or to do anything or take any step forward? Or I will be waiting for others to feel sorry for me, or waiting for the circumstances to change, or waiting for this punishment to be removed so the situation will be better, so I can then show up and take any step forward. We have also Mr. Worried. So Mr. Victim is actually living in the past. He is stuck there in what happened. He cannot get out of the situation that happened. He is recalling what happened every day, every day, every day. He is not able to step out of the past. On the other hand, Mr. Worried is living in the future. He is creating very negative scenarios about what could happen. What if I lost my job? What if I couldn't find another job? What if my business closed? What if I couldn't pay my debts or bills? So he creates a lot of scenarios that again makes him stuck in the future, while we cannot control future. We don't expect what could happen. Things can change. As the worst come, maybe also something good could happen. We don't know. So you cannot control what will happen in the future. Mr. Denying is, on the other hand, enjoying his time, telling himself that everything is okay, or maybe this will not continue, or maybe this will not happen, nothing to worry about. Let's watch a movie. So he is chilling out, enjoying his time, and thinking in denial. He doesn't want actually to face the challenge or to feel the pain. He wants to stay safe, and he thinks that he is now positive or optimistic. But in fact, what he is doing, he is ignoring his emotions. He's ignoring what is happening around him. He's suppressing or bottling his emotions down to appear positive and optimistic. But this is not reality. What he is doing to himself, if anyone decided to act as him, you are really destroying your emotions, you're destroying your well-being and mental abilities. Because bottling or suppressing your emotions will not let them go. It actually will make them increase. And they will explode one day in a very, very strange situation that does not really require the amount of emotions that you will put. And we have Mr. Responsible. Mr. Responsible, actually, he is aware of what happened. So he knows that a lot of changes had happened, or maybe the situation was not fair, or maybe that should not happen even, but he accepted that this happened. As long as he doesn't have control over it, he accepted, and he's not worrying a lot about the future or living in the future, thinking about negative scenarios that could happen or could not. But he's not denying the emotions, he is acknowledging the emotions and accepting the emotions. And he is telling himself that I am responsible, I'm here and now, responsible of some things I can do. Maybe it will change the situation in a better way, even a small step. So what can I do to change the situation? What is in my control, not outside of my control, like Mr. Warid. What is in my control? What is one small step that I can make that will get things better? This is Mr. Responsible. I want you now to reflect. If you want to share, it's okay. If you don't want, even with yourself, which one you think you get stuck more into? Is it Mr. Worried, living in the future, creating the negative scenarios, Mr. Victim, or Mr. Denying, or Mr. Responsible? We have tendencies. Sometimes we fall in one of these traps. But the good news is that consciously we can be Mr. Responsible. How this resonates with you so far? How do you see it? Okay, anxiety, Batul said. Okay, so your mind is wired to think about the future if any challenge, you face a challenge. Yasmin said was still Mr. Worried at its peak. Sorry, I can't understand Yasmin. Worried and still. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. And by the way, I think we have to be role model as Mr. Responsible. Yes, we hope to, but also to make it. I don't want to make it difficult for everyone. We all sometimes fall in these traps. We will fall in the trap of being a victim. We will fall in the trap of being Mr. Worried, or we will fall in the trap of being in a denial mood. That's natural. But the key here is that, and the good news is that we are able to step out of this if we decided to. So let's agree on this first, and we will learn through the session some things or some tools that will help us to step out of these traps if we fall at any of them. Good that you are aware that you have the tendency to fall into one or more of these traps, and this is a very good start, so we can build on that. Okay. Let's talk, because we want now, as I said, we want to agree on some foundations if we want to become Mr. Responsible. So the first thing that we want to agree on is that we are responsible for our behaviors and how we react to change. So we are not responsible for the change itself. And we are not responsible of what could happen in the future. We are not responsible for what happened in the past. But we are responsible of how we respond, how we react to the incident itself. So people has two different ways in reacting to this. People has internal locus of control, or they believe they have internal locus of control, and other people believe that they have external locus of control. What is the difference? So people who has the internal locus of control, they believe that they guided their behavior. They guide their decisions. They are responsible of what they should do. And this effort that they are putting, it impacts the outside world. So individuals believe that his or her behavior is guided by his or her personal decisions and efforts. I am responsible. I have the control over my behavior, over my emotions. Yes, things are happening that is extreme and it is impacting me, but I still have the responsibility or the ability to how to respond to whatever is happening. The other people who has external locus of control, they believe that fate is guiding them. Things are happening to them. It's about luck. It's about external circumstances. So I am stressed. I am worried because of the war. It's the cause of the war. It's not me. The war did this to me. I don't have control over my emotions. I don't have control over how I behave. It's the war that did that to me. So external things is controlling your behavior and emotion. But the other people think, yes, there is something that is really strong, really difficult, really heavy, but I still have the ability and the autonomy to choose how I will respond. Does it make sense to you? So it actually talks about the responsibility or the ability to choose your response, the way you respond. Am I going to panic? Am I going to blame? Or am I going to deny what is happening? Or of taking care of myself, taking care of my emotions, do the best I can, emotions, negative thoughts, and become more productive with whatever is open, responsible of our behaviors and how we react to change. Because this is the basis. If we don't agree on this, you cannot build resilience. People with high resilience are responsible. They know they are responsible. They are not victims of what is happening. They know that they have the control of their behaviors and emotions, regardless of how difficult the situation is. Okay? The second thing is that, yes, we are responsible, but we cannot control everything. So we can control our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors, our actions, our decisions and choices. But we cannot control other people's thoughts, other people's emotions, other people's behavior, other people's actions, decisions, and choices. And we cannot control external incidents or sudden changes. Can we control the people or the thoughts or the behavior of the actions of the people in America, the USA, or the people in Iran? How can we control their reaction tomorrow? What will they do? We cannot. If we continue watching and waiting for them, we are just destroying ourselves. We only control what we have, what we own. This, I don't know why it is not appearing here, but this is the circle of influence and this is circle of concern. And it's up to you to decide where actually you put more in, you put more effort and focus. Where do you waste most of your time thinking of or trying to change? You can reflect again on this because this is very important. Am I wasting my energy trying to change things that I don't have control over? Or I focus my energy, my time, my effort to change the things that I own and I control. And the first thing now that you can do, the first step, the first baby step in developing your resilience now, think about a situation. It could be the war, it could be something else that hit you difficultly, that hit you very hard, and you know that it is impacting you. And think about these two circles. What's in your control? what's out of your control. What can you influence, what you cannot influence. What when you focus on, it will pay off because you have the ability to change. And what if you focus on, you will be wasting your energy. It is taking a lot of your concern and energy, and it's going to give you more stress. If you want me to give you 1 minute to reflect on this and write down, if you have a paper in front of you, that will be fine. If not, the presentation will be shared after the session, so you can have your time, think about it, reflect, and write down what actually is within my hand that I can focus and give attention. Okay, let's move on. Now, dealing with stress and burnout. This is the first step. So the ways or the techniques that I'm going to talk about today to develop resilience, it has two ways or two different ways. Number one, it's a proactive tactics or strategies. When I feel stressed or I fell in a burnout, what can I do? Because I cannot be productive if I'm in a stress and burnout. First, I have to deal with the stress and burnout. Then we will talk about if we get out of the stress and burnout, what can we do to stay there in this mental state, this productive mental state, and don't go back to stress and burnout. So let's first understand what are the different states or the mental or emotional, how we can reset our emotional system by understanding where we are. So this is, we call it the mood meter or the emotional mood meter. How can I understand or decide where I am actually? Am I in a performance mental state, or am I in a survival mood, or am I in a burnout mood, or in a recovery mood? How can I tell? There are actually characteristics of the four mental states or the four different types of moods. So the performance, which is the optimum, the best place you should be or you could be, it is optimal balance, emotionally stable, clear thinking, attuned and calm. The level of energy is high and the energy type is positive. So if you look, you can Google this if you want, and I would recommend to look into the emotion chart, because we have high emotions, high frequency emotions, and low frequency emotions. So this is the energy level of the emotions, but also we have negative emotions, and positive emotions. So the type of the emotion of the performance state or mood is high level, high frequency, and positive. This is where you get excited to act, to have ideas, to you would be motivated to work. This is the productive state where you should be actually. In this state or mood, your thinking is very clear because you're not anxious. You're not thinking about what could happen or what happened, or you have clear mind or clear state of mind. You can see opportunities. You can try or become better at this state. The survival mood, which is on the left-hand side, is again high in frequency. So the energy level is high, but the type of the energy is negative. So angerness, reactive, emotional flooding, defensive, impulsive. Okay? You will feel here when you are worried or anxious, you will actually be in this survival mood. Even the victim, sometimes they become angry. They could be in the survival mood. So what happened if I stay in the survival mood for a long time? I will slip to burnout. So what I want to say is that we don't decide to go in a survival mood or in a burnout mood. We slip into them unconsciously. So I could be in a performance mode and suddenly something triggers me that happens externally, and I'm not able to regulate my emotions quickly. So I will slip into the survival mood. My mood will change from positive to negative, but we are still in high frequency. If I stayed in the survival mood for a long time, this is the fight, flight, freeze state. If I stayed here for a long time, I will go down to burnout. So burnout, again, is a negative state or a negative mood, but the frequency of the energy is very low. Here, when you feel down, you feel exhausted, you feel numbness. Sometimes I don't feel anything. I feel numbness, or emotional exhaustion. You can't really do anything. Depressed, helpless, sad. How can I move actually from being, if I fell in the survival, or if I found from the signals that I'm in a survival mood or in a burnout mood, how can I get back to the performance mood? You cannot actually step out of the survival or the burnout directly to the performance. You have to go through the recovery mood. And this is the only mood or state that we intentionally, consciously decide to be in. So you slip into survival, you slip into burnout. But the recovery, you decide to recover. So you do things that will help you to recover. Now, the recovery mood is positive, type of energy is positive, but the level of energy is low. You are still kind, self-kindness, resting, reflecting, grounding, but not still in the performance mood. If you want to raise the frequency and the level of the energy from being in a recovery to performance, you have to do things. What are these things? How can we move from being in a recovery to a performance state or mood? These are the signals. Again, you can go back and check them whenever you want. The physical signals of a burnout or stress, the emotional signals of headache, tension, fatigue. Emotional signals could be sadness, numbness, anxiousness, overwhelmed. Behavioral, it will be procrastination. You are procrastinating your task. You are withdrawing from people. You don't want to see people. You escalate conflicts very quickly, or you have difficulty in focusing in any task. So you cannot finish anything. The work signals could be reduced productivity, poor decision making, or absence. So now let's understand what can we do. Now we have 4 batteries that we need to fill continuously. So this is not something that I will do until I get out of the stress, of the survival mode or the burnout mode, and that's it, done, full stop. No, it's something that you should continue doing, so you will not flip again from the performance mood. Or if you will get back quickly. You don't have to stay for long in the survival mood or in the burnout mood. So what are these 4 batteries or 4 quadrants? Number 1 is the physical energy. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting the right nutrition? Am I hydrating? Am I moving? Am I walking? If you can't think about these things as cliche and everyone is saying, but I can tell you, this is extremely important. You cannot be in a performance mood if you are exhausted because you're not sleeping well, if you are not hydrating, if you are not moving your body. And I'm one of the, and actually these different things are impacting us also in different ways. So I would say sleep is very important for me. Sleeping well is something that changed my mood totally, I would say. I will be a different person if I'm not sleeping well, if I'm not taking enough hours of sleep. The number 2 is the mental energy, because again, our mind has capacity. If you have a laptop or a computer that you have a lot of tabs that is open, tell me how the laptop will be processing. It will become very slow. Sometimes it's hanging. You cannot continue working on it because you have to close these open tabs, and the same applies to your mind. We have a lot of open files that we are thinking of at the same time. So you need to take a break. You have to shut down some of the files. Focus on the things that you have to focus on only, and shut down or minimize or close whatever is open. So give yourself cognitive rest, not cognitive overwhelming. Breathe techniques could be also very important. A break from focus. I've done a lot today. I need to take some time for fun. And don't laugh. Fun is very important. Make time for fun. Make time. I was actually attending one course during COVID with, I don't know if you know him or not, Dr. Ahmed Al-Awar. And he was assessing, he asked everyone to assess themselves again as different things, and fun was one of them. And I gave myself 0 at fun at that time because I discovered that I am not allowing myself to have fun. I thought that fun is something, it's not for us, for people who are achievers or the hard workers. They don't think about fun. This is something for people who don't have responsibility. They can have time, but actually no. Having fun, having rest is very important. But don't go to have fun. So if you are watching a movie or going outside or sitting in the seaside or whatever, don't take the problems with you. Don't go with the open files with you. Close everything. And even if you are within that time, you think about your problems. You found that a file opened, close it back and tell it, I will come back to you. Now I'm in my fun time. I'm enjoying my time. I am giving rest to my mental energy, to my mind. So again, it's your decision. Number 3 is the social and emotional energy. And again, because we are human, connection and belonging is a psychological need for every one of us. It is something that is mandatory for us. But also make sure that you choose who you spend time with. You don't choose people who are adding negative energy to you or sucking your energy. So choose the people that you feel safe around, that can boost you or give you some energy boost or help you get out of a negative emotional state. And also think about the quality time. So if you are spending time with your daughter, son, spouse, whatever, focus on this only. Keep anything else aside because you want to recharge this battery. This happens only when you are mindful, when you are focusing on this. Okay? And number 4 is the spiritual energy. This is something that every one of us can do it in a different way. So some people can do zikr, can do praying, can do gratitude, can do yoga. Whatever you can do, do. Whatever is adding to your spiritual energy, that is improving your spiritual energy, just go and do it. And I will tell you, this is especially number 4, it adds a real magic. And how do you feel after it? If you do it mindfully, you're not praying and thinking of your problems, or you're not doing zikr while you're thinking of your problems, you're not doing gratitude while thinking of the problems, or being anxious about what will happen. Okay, so focus on whatever you are doing for 10 minutes. 10 minutes are enough. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. This will actually add a lot of value. Okay, now we are done with the things that we can do to make sure that we are in a performance state. So we know we understand how can we take care of ourselves, our mind, our emotions. We understand the different types of moods, and we also understand how can we measure where we are or spot where we are and what is the required action to get back into a performance mood. Now we will talk about 3 secrets that will help you develop resilience to continue be in a performance mode, in a productive mode, and not go back to a stress or burnout or survival mode. And even if you go back, this also secrets will help you return back to the performance mode and be more resilient. You can step up again and show up again. Let's see. So the first thing is hope. One kind of hope is the expectation that tomorrow will be better than today. What do you think about this quote? How do you see this quote? Is it right? That hope could be the expectation that tomorrow will be better than today? Can this give you hope only? You can write in the chat if you want. Okay, so Hanadi, you said that our state of mind affecting our, definitely it's impacting our behavior. The state of mind is impacting our behavior, and this is why I said you cannot perform if you are in a survival mode or in a burnout mode. You have to be in a performance mode so you can behave as a productive person. So yes, I would say yes, but this is incomplete. So if I would stay until or waiting for tomorrow to be better than today, what if not? I'm waiting for the war to stop so I can start or I can continue doing the business I was doing before, which had been stopped because of the war. Or the things that I was planning to do and I stopped because of the war. I'm waiting for tomorrow to be better, so I will continue. What if not? It's an option, no? It may not, right? Let me tell you a story, a quick story. This is an experiment actually that had been made by Dr. Martin Seligman. I have to start with first step to reach my goal. Yes, Batul. Yes. So let me talk about that. Hope is something that we can learn, we can create. So Dr. Martin Seligman, he is the father of positive psychology. A lot of years back, he made an experiment on some dogs. He has 2 groups. He got 2 groups of dogs. He put the first group in a cage and he started to give them electric shocks in their back paws. When they start to jump outside of the cage, while the cage actually, it was very high, they were not able to jump, but when they start, they make any action to show that they are trying to escape out of the cage, the electric shock stopped. The other group, he did the same thing, but even they tried to get out of the cage, he did not stop the electric shock. He repeated the experiment for more than 64 times until the dogs learned something. And while he was doing the experience, he was putting them in specific circumstances like music or sound, so they know when this sound starts, they know that the electric shock is coming. Okay? After some time, he brought the 2 groups again, but the cage was different. The cage here was not high, so it was short enough that they can jump out. Okay? And he went to the first group that they understand that the suffer they have, which is the electric shock, is under their control. Once they move, the suffering will stop. What will they do? Now, when the cage is short, once they hear the sound, they know that the electric shock is coming, they jumped out. So they took action. Now, what they have learned, this group have learned actually that they have some control over their suffering. While the other group, Even when the cage was not high and they have the ability to jump, they did not, because they have learned to be helpless. They have learned from the experience to be helpless. Whatever they do, whatever they try, they will not be able to get out of the suffering. They have no control on the suffering. So they are waiting for things to become better. So that these dogs have learned to be hopeful, and these dogs, they have learned to be helpless. And actually, it applies to us sometimes. People who have been through different types of suffering, different types of difficulties and challenges, and they have tried and they were not being successful, they might develop helplessness mindset. But the good news that we can change this. We still have the ability to build or to learn to be helpful, to understand that we have control to end the suffering that we are facing. It doesn't have to be by changing the situation or the circumstances, but I have control over things that can end my suffering in a way or another. What makes people different in responding? We have two different types of mindsets. People who has growth mindset or developed a growth mindset, and people who developed the fixed mindset. And I would say that this also can have maybe a root from being children. So the children who learned that you are not getting high marks at school because you are not smart enough, you're not good enough, or focusing only on the talent, or they were not, the parents were focusing on the result rather than the effort, they will have more tendency to have fixed mindset. So they think that abilities are static. I don't know how to do this. This is the simple answer you will get from someone if you asked him to try something new. So if he is in a challenging situation, the first thing he will think about is that I don't know how to get out of this. My abilities are limited. Or they see failure as personal limitation. They think they are not able to succeed because they have limitation. They avoid challenges because they want to prevent failure. And the feedback they get is always for them something personal. It's about themselves, not about the thing that they do. On the other hand, the people who developed growth mindset, they think that abilities can be developed. If he is faced with a challenge, he will try, because he learned that trial and effort equal a positive outcome, or the outcome will come, or this effort will pay off. They see failure as a learning experience. Yes, I fail. Yes, I'm in a trap now, but this is not the end of the world. I learn something from this that will help me tomorrow. The effort is necessary for improvement, and they embrace challenges as opportunities. And also they welcome feedback for improvement. So is a growth mindset and a fixed mindset is related to their learned helpfulness? Yes, because if you have a fixed mindset, you will not try. You have learned to be helpless. You will not try even. You will not put any effort to get yourself out of any situation. How can I, if I started to diagnose myself and I saw that I have some signals of a fixed mindset, how can I develop a growth mindset? Actually, we have the behavior, as Batul was saying, that the beliefs, the emotions, the assumptions, the fears that we have, our mindset, our attitude impacts our behavior. So where should I start to change is the belief. What do I believe about myself? Am I able to change? Then I will move from having a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So, and this actually will not happen in a day, but our mind is designed to rewire. Rewire means if I'm used to do something or to act in a way, in a specific way for a long time, okay, I will have a neural way that is named under this habit or this the thing that the behavior that I'm doing. If I want to rewire my brain to something that is different, there is some steps. So if I caught myself repeating in a challenge, I'm repeating this inside of myself, I don't have the ability to do this, or I don't have the ability to do something different. This is a belief. Now I quote a belief, right? I will have to notice, number one, interrupt the belief. Don't let the belief to continue. If it continues, it will bring more thoughts and it will end up in a negative behavior. So I will interrupt. I will notice first what I'm telling to myself, what I'm saying to myself here, what I'm hearing that is inside, the dialogue inside my mind. I interrupt it and then choose a different thing. What if I tried? What if I could? What if I tried and I found myself I can? Now you are changing the belief that you have. Repeating this will create a new neural pathway. So this will happen through repetition only. If you do it one time, if you notice that you are talking negatively to yourself, you interrupt, you introduce a new meaning or a new belief, one time, it will not work. This have to repeat. Repeat until you remove the old wiring and create a new neural pathway. Okay? We are almost done. I know that the 1 hour has almost gone, but we have started late. So let me take another more 3 or 4 minutes, and then I will have your questions. Let me know if this is okay with you. So the second secret is the purpose. And what I mentioned here is that plan, but don't fall in love with your goals or the plans. What does it mean to you? How this resonates when you hear this quote? What do you think about it? Why am I saying plan, but don't fall in love with your goals? What is the difference between goals and purpose? And why we should not really get attached to our goals or plans? You can write in the chat if you want. Don't take it emotionally. Yes. Okay. So let's see the difference between a purpose and a goal and how both of them can impact our resilience or our ability to continue being productive and show up again in difficult situations. Both of them actually has different way of impact on us. So the goals are very specific outcomes you want to achieve. So I want to, for example, if I'm talking about myself, I want to deliver the specific training to the specific company. Okay, this is a goal. It can change frequently based on circumstances. So if the training was supposed to be a classroom training, but because of the war, we can change it from being a classroom to a virtual training, right? It motivates through achievement and progress. So the goal gives you the sense of motivation, but only if you achieved it, or you have a progress toward the goal. But on the other hand, it can feel overwhelming during uncertainty. So if you have goals and you are getting really attached to the goals and the plans that you have made, you fall in love in your plan, but because of the situation and uncertainty, you don't know how will you achieve them. What will happen? You will keep motivated, you will stay motivated. If you are not able to achieve the goals, the specific goals that you have planned or you put for yourself, of course not. This will be a source of being overwhelmed and stressed. And this is completely different from having a purpose. The purpose is a deeper reason why you do what you do. So if my purpose is to help people to develop more resilience, this could happen through different ways. I will find a way to reach the purpose. Whatever the purpose you will always find different pathways to reach the purpose. And think about the river, the water inside the river. The water inside the river is running, it has a flow, right? So the purpose of the water in the river is the flow. If it faced a big rock, what will the water do? It will stay, it will stop flowing, or it will find another path to continue. So having a purpose is actually helping us to be more agile, to be more flexible in finding different ways that can take us to the purpose. But getting attached to a goal as if you are saying to yourself, this is the only way. If this way or this door is closed, you will stop. You cannot continue. So the purpose actually is helping us to be more resilient and more agile and more stable even when situations change. It provides meaning, direction, and inner strength. So it is telling us the direction, but not what is the pathway. It is not actually making us stuck into a specific pathway. It keeps you grounded when everything else is unstable. I know that this is my purpose. I can do different things to continue progressing against my purpose. It doesn't have to be very specific and attached to a specific outcome or a specific goal or a specific way that will make you more resistant or stagnant. You cannot move. Okay? The third one is the meaning. So why you do what you do? What does it mean to you? When pressure increases, motivation fades. If there is pressure outside, the motivation fades. How can I get motivated if I'm in a stress mood? But meaning stays. So I want you actually now to think about something that you were doing that has been interrupted or impacted because of the circumstances that is happening, and tell me a big meaning, or think about a big meaning that can drives you back or turns you on again. Give yourself some time to reflect on this if you want. So if you have a big meaning, how this impacts your resilience. If you have a big meaning, you will continue putting effort regardless what is happening. if you lost your job, but you have a big meaning or a purpose, like, for example, my meaning, the one that actually drives me and fuels me all the time, is that I believe the meaning is God doesn't let the reward of those who do good go unrewarded. So if a door is closed after a lot of effort, I will put another effort in another door. I will knock another door. I will find another way and put more effort. I will not say, but I have tried and it didn't actually end up in a good way, or the door was closed, or my effort has gone. Effort's never gone. Do you have any idea about a boomerang? The boomerang, that it's something that you throw and then it comes back to you. I don't know if I have a picture of it, but you can search it and look at the picture of a boomerang. So your efforts is always as a boomerang. If it has meaning, the meaning will fuel you to continue putting effort, because you know this will come back to you. It will turn back to you. You stay engaged even under pressure, and it fuels your motivation. So now tell me, what meanings do you have for your work, for example? What does your work mean for you? Or the service that you provide for people, what does it mean to you? What is a big meaning that you have? You can share in the chat if you want. Okay. So I'm done. Let me know if you have any question. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. We can have another maybe 5 or 10 minutes if you have questions. You can open your mic or raise your hand or type it in the chat if you want. The work is life. This is the meaning you have. Great. So if you stop working, you are not alive. Great. Any question, anything that was not clear you want me to, or any reflection that you have, or anything that you would like to add?
I'd like to thank you so much, dear Shireen, for your amazing session and for your efforts preparing this presentation. I know it needs a lot of effort to come up with this comprehensive presentation and these insights. And actually, I'd like to thank you for taking the lead of getting this presentation, because at hard time, you really want people who support you and stand by your side. And that's one of the main purpose of our community as well.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure actually having all of you, and it's my pleasure that I was actually enjoying, even it, yes, as you said, it took a lot of effort, but I was really enjoying preparing this session, and I hope you enjoyed it as I did. Yeah, I have a question here, I think. Lilith, how can you give or share resilience to your people if you don't have a control to their emotions? You cannot do this, Lilith, because as we said, but we can provide some guidance. As now, as I shared these insights with you, you can share the insights with the people that you care for. So when you find someone who is actually talking very negative about a situation or about themselves, you may interrupt in a gentle way with a question that can tweak his way of thinking or take it to a different place. Okay, so you can influence, you can give some guidance, but you cannot change. You cannot change anyone unless they want or they decide and they ask for your help. That makes sense.
I think Shireen also you started by saying it comes with awareness. Okay, so I believe many people they are not really aware what they need to do
Exactly.
or what could happen.
Exactly.
So I
Yes.
believe maybe one of the output of this session that maybe you have an effort or create task team or group for sending messages to larger number of people or outside even our group, inside our group, HR leaders or outside, to promote these ideas and create awareness.
Yes. So yes, definitely, Doctor. Yeah, create the awareness and sharing the guidance. So you give them, you bright or put the light for them. You show them the road.
Yes.
Maybe you can create also the culture if you are a manager of people, for example, and you don't want your people to develop helplessness, for example. Don't focus on the output all the time. This is one of the things you can do. Focus on the effort. Praise the effort and not the outcome. You can encourage them. You can tell them that even if they fail, you can try again. Don't be judgmental with them. This will help them and encourage them actually to try more. Even if they fail, they will show up again, stand up again. So, as a manager, you have a lot of things that you can do with your team actually to create the culture of resilience.
Whom do you think is the main person responsible for promoting this concepts and this work environment?
So if you have a department of organization development, they will be responsible of creating this awareness, or the HR if the company doesn't have an organization development department. So the HR can create this awareness, and you can to create the culture. Actually, you need to start with the managers. So the managers need to understand first how to deal with themselves, their own stress, their own challenges first, because sometimes we impose what we have on others. If I'm stressed, I can use a very immature coping mechanism to impose my angerness on others or my stress on others. So I have to first understand how to deal with my own challenges and how to create the culture, the right culture for people to feel safe, to feel, to understand how to fail, to understand how to get up even if they fail.
Yeah. Great. Do we have any more questions or queries? So I'd like to thank you so much, dear Shireen, for your great presentation, and really hope people can really benefit from it. And also, let's see how can we promote these ideas and concepts to larger organization or to more people, so that they can really understand and become aware, and then try to apply this and get this really in the ground. Because I highly believe in these hard times, really, we need such way of thinking and need to change the mindset of people.
Yes. Thank you so much, Doctor. I really enjoyed the session, and thank you for having me and giving me more than 1 hour of your time and your attention. So I hope it was valuable, and I've added value to every one of you.
Yes. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best. Inshallah, yani, you are always with us in a lot of events, inshallah, in the near future as well. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Yes, inshallah, we'll see you in future webinars, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye.